Hey guys, I'm a little sorry and feeling I caught a bug. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's the NECA bug because this is the first time for Tommy, a Tommy debut of an official NECA toy, and I figure why not start out with this really cool Alien 3 based on the, I'm assuming, video game. They've been doing these awesome, really kind of cool boxes for video game throwbacks for figures, and this time around I'm doing Alien 3. This time around being the first time around. Let's open it up so you can see it says level 1 mission tries 3 get ready, and there's a really cool two-toned kind of orangey brown and sky blue white, which is really cool. And some people might say it's gimmicky, when it kind of is kind of gimmicky, and that's what makes it so cool. Because I've never played Alien 3, but I was out shopping with a good friend of mine, Samoa Joe, of course. Man, I really should become one of those people that just name drops, though. So I was out shopping with my good friend, my pal, Dolph Ziggler, and we came across this. And at first he was all like, "Oh man, but I have the Monster Arts version, but this looks so cool," and I agreed with him. We didn't pick it up at that store, but then I was shopping alone, and I found it at a little bit of a discount, so I picked it up. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to review this thing, because I've never picked up a NECA figure. I know, how is that possible? I don't know, but this past week alone I picked up like 30, and look at that backdrop. That's beautiful. That's gorgeous. Tyler Breeze status. And of course there are twisty ties, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut those out, and then return for the review. I've had a few minutes and basically an hour to hang out with this guy before I continue doing this review after unboxing him, or her. Is it a her? To look at it, a figure, not an actual creature, but this thing is seriously quality stuff. I don't know how I never picked up any NECA figures before, but I'm glad to have caught the bug, because seriously, this thing is a work of craftsmanship beauty. It's like, I was a bit too much of a Japanese figure fanboy for the last few months, but I think I'm ready to return back to America for America toys, because Hasbro, with their Marvel Legends and stuff, has been disappointing me. Mattel doesn't know what they're doing with DC, but here is NECA doing some great things with movie licenses, and I'll stop basically professing my love to them and basically show you why this figure rocks. It has solid articulation. You got some double bend, single bend in the leg, and then the foot bends and rotates, but there's no swivel, unfortunately. And look at that, you can make it so tall. Oh, it's so spooky. Maybe if I get another one of these, I'll do a spooky unboxing. Goes that high, the arms go that high, and rotate. And there is swivel of the upper arm, lower arm, whichever way you look at it. And then a dual bend, wrist rotation on the hand, wrist bend on the hand, so you can get like a super sassy alien. Honey! And you also got some sweet rotation. Head, it's kind of forceful to move it, complete 360 because of the shoulder blades, but looks up, looks down. There is an ab crunch. The tail is one of the greatest things I've seen, because it rotates so you can get the colors to match. But check this out. It's like bendy, so you can bend it in whatever way you want. Well, not whatever way, because this bottom is not the bendy part, but you can make it long or you can make it short, which is super solid. And then, as you can see there, the mouth opens and you can take out the I don't know what exactly that's called, like the spooky part that comes out when it attacks you. And then you can close it and then just have it straight up open. It's spooky stuff, right? That's a really spooky figure. And If you're like, Tommy, this is cool and all, but it's just a simple repaint, this is a beautiful repaint. It's gorgeous. I said that before when I mentioned it. The two tones really, really work. So you can get like a cool tone or you can get a warm tone. And that's awesome. Or you can get a bit of both. And it's really, really good looking in person. One of the flaws I've seen with this, though, is that if you want it to stand on its legs, it's probably not going to happen. It falls over. So what did they do? They included an ace of a base, which isn't detailed at all. It's just clear plastic, which some people might dislike that because they want something that says like Alien 3, but I don't mind. The only problem here is it's a bit short, so you're gonna have to like rest the tail on it. It works, but you can't open or close this, which is unfortunate, so it does render this a bit difficult to get in a lot of positions, but it's basically just a stand for the tail. I'll be honest and put that out there, that it's not for the full figure. It's just to hold up the tail if you want it to be a bit longer and spooky, you know? You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, it works. It just takes a bit of finagling. Is that actually a word? I have no idea. It is challenging, and I would say that that's the biggest flaw of this figure, is getting it to stand up with its tail up, because as you can see here, I'm having a really difficult time getting it to stand up in the pose I want, which is unfortunate. That's honestly a pretty big flaw, but I'm kind of gonna overlook it. I know that sounds horrible from the position of someone saying like if a toy is good or bad, because I feel like it is all right, it is kind of bad that it just flops around everywhere. The other negative I see is that the tail kind of rotates on its own. It's not as tight as I'd want it to be. That might just be mine, but it might not, and it might be a problem with a bunch of them. Yeah, you can do like fun little poses with Japanese figures. This Misasa Hina figure works perfectly with it, but again, it's a bit challenging to get it to stand up on its own. And yeah, I might get some commenters saying, yo, you just need to take the time with it, but the way I see it is like, if it takes more than 20 seconds to get it to stand up on its own, then it's going to get some points taken off for difficult standing abilities. But that just might be the character design. And, it is an odd design, which is top heavy, so I don't know how they would get it to stand up. That's my review. It's a gorgeous looking figure, but unfortunately it is not the easiest to get standing with its tail up or even with its tail down. It takes a lot of work to get it standing in the pose you want. So do I recommend it? In a sense, yes, but in a sense, no. Am I glad I purchased it? Absolutely.